influence the United States presidential election or interfere with our government process to begin with. But there is information about China hacking into the White House before. What was done about that? So when you look at the reciprocity and in terms of their reaction and actions towards it, where were all the sanctions then against China?
And maybe there were actions, but they didn't announce them. So why the announcement of this one is strange? I do think also it's worth reading if people have a chance to go back. Last week in the Wall Street Journal, there was an op-ed by a guy named Edward J. Epstein, and it was called The Fable of Ed Snowden. And it does this interesting, his analysis of a connection between Snowden and Assange and how Assange sent his deputy to Hong Kong to take Snowden back to Russia. So I can see where if you're sitting at the White House, you're thinking, why can't people see this, obviously for what it is? But there's just no trust with the intelligence community, so I don't know how much more that they could tell us show us.
They could give us the exact. In other words, right now we're understanding that 17 intelligence agencies have information that led them to believe that the Russians hacked the DNC. And but they won't show us. Not one has shown us what they have, Geraldo, and that's the point. Now we have a guy who leaked them saying they're wrong. There is no Russian attachment.
Let's assume for a second that Assange is telling the literal truth. It was not a state actor. If Vladimir Putin gets 100 bright Russian cyber kids and gives them the highest powered, high voltage, high octane Mac computer and says, go do this to Podesta's Gmail, and it's not the KGB. He could literally be finessing the truth.
That would be a state actor. That would be Vladimir Putin as president of Russia.
Do you disbelieve the president of the United States and these intelligence agencies when they say with confidence that it was the Russians who did it and they have the Cyrillic keyboard and all the rest of it? Do you disbelieve our president and our intelligence agency?
Let me answer you this way. I also believe that we weren't being data mined by the NSA, every single American, until Edward Snowden whistleblew and said, guess what? They go around Fiserv and every single American's data is being mined illegally. Well, I didn't know that either. I trusted them then, too.
Take his point. Now we're all settled. Everybody's in office. God bless the 45th president of the United States. How concerned are you now about cybersecurity?
But by the way, your scenario where Putin has 100 of their best and brightest is probably one of 100 countries doing the exact same thing.
I don't disagree.
Okay, here's how you can look at WikiLeaks.
How the president's going to handle it.
Ultimately, WikiLeaks is a conduit for extortion. All right, someone phishes you. Then goes to you and demands money. You say no. The phisher can actually give it to WikiLeaks and Assange because therefore their hands are clean. And Assange goes, I'm all about transparency. I'm going to screw you over.
Do we have that though? Do we have any evidence of someone saying, I got this Podesta?
But I mean,
but if you don't give me money,
but your argument is like you would rather trust Assange than our military intelligence. No, we have conservatives that are now basically smearing our intelligence.
In one hand, with Assange, I have proof. I see emails, I see names of the emails. On the other hand, 17 intelligence agencies that tell us, trust us, it happened. Meanwhile, no one's willing to step up and say, here's one shred of evidence.
With all due respect,
well, we have to see, though, in fact, if he does that, because
with all due respect,
well, we have to see, though, in fact, if he does that, because we have to give him a chance to get into office where it's his. It's appropriate for him. He did say that, but we also have to see what's happening behind the scenes in terms of when he's going to proffer that kind of evidence and support and what he decides to tell the American people. And maybe he waits till he takes office.
I'm front and center saying sanction them, harder sanctions than we've these toothless sanctions we've offered so far.
I have advice to Chelsea Manning: start bashing Obama. The Republicans are going to love